Feeling the strain of putting on big smiles for grandson Ryan's 10th birthday and the looming anniversary of her daughter's death, Sergeant Catherine Cawood, Sarah Lancashire, for whom we're rapidly running out of superlatives, bestrode this episode like a colossus. The woman's a goddess, but woe betide anyone who crosses her. We began with her being the supportive community cop as she got out of bed in the middle of the night to help rape victim Leonie Beardsall, another Harry Potter alumnus. What is this? A Hogwarts finishing school. Taking notes with a betting shop pen on a fag packet. We watched as she ferociously tore into the two special constables who'd been unsympathetic to Leonie's plight. Yeah, she's a prostitute, but she's also a vulnerable 19-year-old who is where she is because she's had a shit life. Then she dissolved into tears in her car, human after all. If there's a better character on TV right now, I'm a monkey's uncle. Sacked laborer seen Balmforth, Harry Potter alumnus Matthew Lewis, was definitely guilty of raping prostitute Leonie and is decidedly dodgy, but the artist formerly known as Neville Longbottom can't be the serial killer, can he? It's not looking good for slow-witted scene, admittedly. The hair of one victim was found in his van, along with nylon rope and those dreaded beer bottles. The phone number of another victim was on his mobile. Yet the baffled look on his face when charged with 4 murders said it all. A case of being in the wrong place at the wrong time in the wrong white van. Bullied farmer Darryl Gars, Robert Ems, finally stood up to the sheep-rustling ruffians who'd been tormenting him, but took it too far, swinging wildly with a lump hammer and breaking one's collarbone. As he suddenly flipped and lost control, it crossed my mind that Darryl could be a potential killer, a suspicion reinforced by his concerned mother's reference to him drink driving. And did you notice that length of rope in the boot of his car? D.S. John Wadsworth, played with slippery creepiness by Downton's Kevin Doyle, had some explaining to do when his name and number were found on murdered Mistress Vicky Fleming's phone. However, he seemed to get away with it, explaining that she'd been a witness in a building society fraud case years earlier. They say the best lies have a kernel of truth, so this could indeed be how the couple first met. However, Kenny D.I. Jodie Shackleton, Catherine Kelly, who's beginning to come into her own, is still convinced Vicky's death isn't related to the other 3. This is someone who knew her, it's personal. Hugh Wadsworth looking seriously spooked again. Elsewhere, DSI Andy Shepard, Vincent Franklin, asked, "Everything all right at home?" "You know, slings and arrows," John replied. "We should say so." His wife Amanda, Julie Hesmondhall, had changed the locks and left his luggage on the driveway. And when teased about his date with Anne Gallagher, Charlie Murphy, Wadsworth cluelessly came back, "What date? He's got a lot on his mind, but come on, you don't forget arranging a rendezvous with an attractive young colleague." A few more incidents of inaudible dialogue this week, notably during the opening scene in Annette and Leonie's flat, then the whispered conversations between Catherine and Sister Claire, Sive and Finneran. "Speak up, ducks." In a neat twist which I didn't see coming, Claire's boyfriend Neil Ackroyd confessed that it was Vicky Fleming with whom he had an affair, back when they worked together at the building society. When he tried to break it off, she blackmailed and humiliated him. Sound familiar? This is presumably what split up Neil's family and triggered his mental breakdown. Actor Con O'Neill was touchingly troubled in these scenes. Tearful, trembly, and terrified of telling the police because it would bring back the trauma. We knew nervy Neil had something to hide. Was this it, or is there still more to come? As the series passed its halfway point, this was the 4th installment of 6. Nothing major happened. No deaths, no destruction. Just progress in the various plotlines, plenty of police procedural action and domestic drama. As usual though, it was all brilliantly written and powerfully performed. Those story threads are being inexorably drawn together as we enter Happy Valley's final act. Prison Rupee Francis, the wonderfully ominous Shirley Henderson, continued to drive a wedge between Catherine and her beloved grandson Ryan, leaving an anonymous gift on behalf of psycho Tommy Lee Royce, James Norton, a 150-pound Scalextric set which she knew Ryan would love. The birthday card concealed inside the box became a ticking time bomb, and when Catherine finally opened it, throbbing music powerfully simulated the rush of blood to her head. The celebrations were cut dramatically short as she realized danger was closer than she thought.